What's up, guys? Welcome back to another live stream. Appreciate everybody for joining. I see we've got Johnny, man from Bogota, Wyatt, Crypto Gasu in the house. Welcome back, all of you guys. I appreciate you. Well, all four of you guys, anyways, for coming back. I know there's more people in here. But those are the people who have commented so far. So today's stream is going to be pretty simple and probably not as long as a lot of my streams, but I want to just kind of go over a strategy for, and the strategy is pretty easy, pretty simple. For this, what I feel is a bear market at this point, that's going to set you up for success next cycle. And I can't imagine we go 2 cycles in a row where we don't get some sort of altcoin season. And so my strategy involves buying some altcoins, Caspa included. I guess it's possible, right? If we go 4 more years and then Bitcoin rallies and altcoins don't rally again, I don't even know what to think at that point. Especially if the macro conditions are suitable for risk assets, which it looks like it's going to be this next cycle. And so I think it's important to kind of understand where we are, understand, what's sitting right in front of us, and kind of a strategy to take advantage of it, right? This was my same strategy last cycle. The only unfortunate part was that we didn't get an altcoin season. Otherwise, my portfolio probably would have retired my whole family right now. I didn't own enough Bitcoin. Maybe I should have transferred it all into Bitcoin, but who the hell would have known? And so, made some money, but not even close to what was projected, based on previous cycles. Before we get into it, though, guys, make sure you pay your bar tabs, hit that like button, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. A lot of you guys watch my videos and haven't subscribed. It's free. It's just a click of a button. Oh, no, we've got the bots are in the chat. YouTube has actually started cleaning up bot comments by themselves lately, which is nice because I used to have to go in single-handedly after my videos and just go through them all and delete them all. And that was annoying. So shout out to YouTube for starting to do that. It's not every single video, but it's a lot of them. Oh, maybe maybe that's not a bot comment. I saw Evexum and thought it was automatically a bot. It's not. Anyways, so first things first, I'm going to pull up my internet. And we've got where is it here? We have Donald Trump saying today that it says he made the most important announcement of 2026. Hold on, let me blow this up. And U.S. crypto market bill is ready and will pass soon. It should bring trillions into the U.S. market and reduce manipulation in crypto. Giga bullish. From Leviathan. Now, none of this stuff gets me excited anymore. None of this is going to happen. This is great. Trillions of dollars coming into the market. I need to see it to believe it at this point, right? Because let me know, guys, in the chat, how many of you are tired of winning at this point in time? because I'm tired of winning. I'm exhausted. Too much winning. Okay? So this bill will probably pass at some point. It'll probably pass in the middle of the year, in the summer sometime, alongside new Fed chair and some rates being cut, right? We'll bottom out in the summer, in my opinion, probably double bottom in October-ish, and 2027 will look better. But if we look at past cycles, okay, and we look at the total crypto market. Let me pull this up a little bit. There's pockets that are for accumulation. And there are pockets for when you sell rather than buy. And we did not really get a pocket this last bull cycle for selling as far as altcoins go. You can pick and choose certain ones, yes. And maybe I should have sold some Caspa at 20 cents, but who would have thought that that would have been the time moving into what is usually the most bullish year of the bull market, right? Where things usually, 10x from that point. And so I don't know that anybody would have necessarily guessed that that was going to be the top. I know I'm going to have people in the comments saying you're an idiot for not selling. I knew it was the top, but no, you didn't. I know that for a fact you did not. So looking back in hindsight, yeah, it's easy to say that was the top. And that's what people are doing right now. But at that time, moving into the most bullish year in these 4-year cycles, the last thing I wanted to do was technically sell, a portion of my altcoins. And those of you who, are saying otherwise are just looking back in retrospect and basically talking shit. That's all it is. At the time, you had no idea what you were doing. Maybe you got lucky. Maybe you didn't. Maybe you're just lying now. I have no idea. Doesn't really matter. But we have pockets here. And these pockets are basically where you should be accumulating There's a pocket there. There's a pocket there. And we're entering into our third pocket. Well, based on, if you go back further, you could technically say you could have accumulated in this range as well. It goes way back. But we're not going to go back that far necessarily. And then you got pockets where you can see the spikes in price where you should be selling some of your crypto in order to realize some of your profits that you've made along the way. All of, from basically 2023 to September of 2025, October of 2025, we had the whole entire crypto market going up, but it was basically just Bitcoin. Altcoins kind of went in a zone, right? But never really came out of that zone, whereas Bitcoin kept climbing higher and higher and higher. So you would get a drop in altcoins, and then they'd rally again, but they'd kind of go back up to the exact same point they were at. Then they would drop again. So they were moving in kind of this vertical zone that never really gave you crazy highs or crazy lows. Whereas Bitcoin basically its market cap took up the whole entire total market cap all the way up. But this is normally a time that you would be selling, right? If you owned Bitcoin, right up here would be the most logical, best time to sell. In hindsight, Q4 post-halving year. Right now, this area here is probably going to turn into, right? That's probably was this area, that was this area, and that's going to turn into an accumulation zone. So in the summer, this is what I'm guessing, we're going to bottom out. We're going to have another leg down, I believe. There's usually 3 legs. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay? We haven't had that third leg down yet. And then what's going to happen is you're probably going to get a zone like this, where we just kind of go sideways for months upon months upon months. Upon months. Upon months. It's going to be boring as hell. You're going to have a little bit of price action to the upside, a little bit to the downside. Not a whole lot going on, though. It's going to be boring. Crypto's going to get boring. Only the diehards and the degens are going to stick around before we move back in to another, upside stage probably after Bitcoin's next halving. This zone as well. Right? We're gonna get another one of these zones where we just move sideways. It's gonna get boring as hell. So just keep that in mind. During that period of time is where the legends actually make the most amount of money. When everything is scary, when everything is boring, when everybody's telling you that you're an idiot for investing in crypto, this is the time where, when we finally do, can you guys hear that echo in the background? Hopefully not. I just turned it off. When we finally do get the next, legit bull market, which I imagine that altcoins are going to run this next time around, again, macro headwinds will be going in the right direction for risk assets. So I'm pretty sure you're going to have some sort of altcoin season next time around, and I think it's going to be big because we didn't get one this cycle. That is when everybody who has been accumulating in these zones right here for months upon months upon months are going to come out smelling like roses when it's all said and done. You can buy Bitcoin too, just in case, right? If we, for some reason, don't ever see an altcoin season again, then maybe having some Bitcoin is a good idea as well. You can buy whatever you want. I'm not telling everybody that they should buy Caspa. I'm not telling everybody that they shouldn't buy this, should buy this, shouldn't buy this. But whatever your altcoin of choice is, or small bag of altcoins, that's what you should be buying right now on a DCA standard. You should also have some money in stables with limit orders set, so that if the price drops to these ridiculously low levels, which there's a chance they do, that is going to be an excellent buy for you. And if you're not around a computer and you're not online, you're not looking at it, because it could be a flash crash, it could be short. And so having a limit order set so that you can accumulate more at extremely low prices is a good thing to have as well. So for me, during this potential bear market that we're in right now, I'm buying Caspa, I'm buying Sui, and I'm buying Bitcoin. And that's it for me. There might be some other projects that come about that interest me. Some of the projects that are going to do the best during next alt season are not even, they're not even born yet. because they're going to be the new shiny ball for the next cycle, and everybody's going to be chasing them. And they're probably not even born yet. So I will be looking. I'll have my feelers out. But as of right now, those are the 3 projects that I'm buying. I'm DCAing on a weekly basis. And so that is, sorry, I'm reading some comments, which is why I stopped for a second. That is what I'm doing, and that is what's been successful for me in the past. Previous cycles, not this last cycle, because I didn't hold enough Bitcoin, and who would have thought that, based on history, we weren't going to see, even a small alt season. We didn't even get a small alt season. We got really nothing. And so this last cycle left a lot on the table for me. And I'm assuming it left a lot on the table for a lot of people who were expecting what I was expecting. I'm not the only one that was expecting an altcoin season, guys. So the vast majority of crypto influencers and people who have been in crypto for quite a while expecting an alt season, because that's what normally happens. So I'm not standing out here on a cliff by myself when I say that. It just didn't happen. For whatever reason, it just didn't happen. Well, it was macro conditions more than anything. So, the CAS BTC chart is actually, on this scale, it looks like it's in a downtrend. But if you actually blow this up to the, let's try the weekly here. You can see from December, let me move this up a little bit for you. From about December 25th of last year, we've started an uptrend against Bitcoin. So maybe, I don't know how that's going to play out. Especially if we go into a bear market. Caspa outperformed last bear market, so I guess there's a chance. I wasn't of the camp that it was going to do it again, but this was kind of a weird cycle, and maybe I'm proven wrong. I don't know. I don't know exactly what's going to happen. But remember, to get back to where, we were last, on the last bear market on the BTC KASPA chart, look at the what was it, daily? I can't even get it pulled up right. What's going on? We'll just go to the weekly again. But look at that spike. That's how... Oh, that's not even the right spike. Hold on a second. It goes even higher. That's a baby spike. That's how big Caspa outperformed Bitcoin last bear market. Right? It went boom, fell a little bit, and then boom, and then fell a little bit. And maybe I don't know if it's going to go back up to these levels or not. We'll see. Time will tell. But at least for 2 months now, Caspa's been outperforming Bitcoin. So maybe that continues, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. Also, there was an article on Binance's website. I know we all love Binance, but it was about Caspa, and it was written middle of last month by Captain Altcoin. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but his conclusion is interesting. It says market valuation remains near $1 billion for Caspa, which are analyst views as disconnected from the scale of planned upgrades. So what it sounds like is they would expect the market cap to be higher based on what's on the horizon for KASPA. If I remember to, I'll link this in the description of the video so you guys can go take a look at it if you want to. But that's basically all I have today. We'll answer some questions and talk a little bit KASPA and skip over all of the extremely rude comments that are in the comment section right now from some of you guys. One person in general. And it's not infamous today. It's not. There's another troll. Let's see here. Man from Bogota. Hey, Kat. Hope you're doing well. Bro, do you think Caspa Core is going to do VProgs and Dagnite hard fork together? Sutton said that in his post a few months ago. It's possible. I don't exactly know what's going to happen. And I don't know. So I made a video on this hard fork that's coming up because it said native assets. And I don't know if it's setting the stage for native assets and VProgs or if they're actually going to be implemented during this next hard fork, which is in 80 days. If it's just laying the groundwork so that VProgs can be implemented after the fact, then yeah, Dagnite and VProgs might be implemented together at a later point in time. But I was under the impression that VProgs were going to actually go live, but I might be wrong. Either way, this upgrade that's coming, if all it is laying the groundwork so that VProgs can be implemented, then that's still a huge upgrade and hard fork. Because it has to happen beforehand anyways, right? Cass is the GOAT. And I need all of you guys to stop what you're doing and pay attention. Wyatt says, yo, Caspian, smash the thumbs up for KDK. Wyatt's a scary dude, too. You don't want to mess with him. You listen to Wyatt. Gasu, what's up? Trader, what's up? Riley's back in the house. Yeah, I think I am. I got tired of it for a minute, but I still have the background, so I'll put it back up. Maybe next week. But, yeah, it's a good point. I hadn't even thought about it, but now that you mention it, I will go back to the bar. It just makes more sense. I won an 80% down with Caspa. Well, what you should be doing now rather than selling, well, unless you don't unless you don't think it's going to make it long term, you should be DCAing so that you can bring your average down. There are plenty of accounts that called the top on X, Dr. Profits, blah, 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 bin count. Yeah, they called the top on Bitcoin, but altcoins usually run after Bitcoin. Until Bitcoin goes under the 50-week moving average, which we did talk about. Bitcoin maxis, yeah, there was a lot of them that called the top, but anybody in altcoins... still expecting an altcoin season. Happy to announce I started running a public node today. Hope it helps the network. Great job, Franny. I still need to set one up. My miner, well, I used to mine on GPUs before ASICs came out, and then I bought one of the first batches of the KS zeros, and it's sitting right here next to me, and I disconnected it because it stopped mining. The power turns on, but it won't mine anything, and I'm not technical. I don't know how to fix it. Maybe it's fixable, maybe it isn't, but I RIP'd it, and I'm going to keep it, though, as an OG, because this is one of the very first ASIC miners ever available for Caspa. Pretty cool. It's going to be a paperweight on my desk now. But I mine quite a bit of Caspa off of it, especially when I first got it. When I first got that thing, first of all, it was like a 12-volt plug-in, so like it was like leaving a light bulb on, so you weren't wasting any electricity or spending any electricity compared to like regular ASIC miners. And I was mining like, for like the first month or two, it was like 5,000 Caspa a day. And then it, as the emissions, schedule started going, and more people were getting shipped all of these miners. At the time when like the KS3 and the KS5 came out not too long after, and they started being shipped out, the hash rate, the hash rate went up and the difficulty went up. And so at the end of everything, I was getting like 5 Caspa every 2 weeks. So that's the difference of what I was getting. It's a crazy difference. Forget the squiggly lines, just keep stacking. That's right. But for those, yeah, I mean technically that's true. Like the easy part is just keep buying, and when the price, eventually the price will go up. And when it gets to a point where you're, happy with the number of X's, then you can start selling some if you wanted to. If you don't believe in Caspa and don't have the patience for the next 5 to 10, 15 years onward, then no need to cry about it. Go and put your money in Upthebium Inu or something. Is this you in the photo? None other? Because if it is, I would change your profile picture. That's embarrassing. Yeah, Cope Daddy. You know what? Let me know what projects you invest in. Are you a Bitcoin only? Bitcoin maxi? I see all your comments. It says shitcoin this, shitcoin that. You're rivaling Infamous today. Yeah, I'd like. Also, you could explain why it's a shitcoin, why it asks. I would imagine the answer is because it's not Bitcoin. Because that's literally the only response anybody ever gives. It's not Bitcoin, so it has to be a shitcoin. I haven't done an ounce of research, no idea what this is, but it doesn't say Bitcoin, so it's obviously not worth anything. Gasu, you must be related to Infamous. What if they're the same person? Brothers from another mother. We just got a lot of infighting here. So Wyatt. So this is in response to none other. Go research and educate yourself on Caspa. That's all you can do for yourself and learn about it. And none other says, fine, you know what, I will. Which is an admission that he has not researched it, doesn't know what it is, and just thinks it's a shitcoin because it's not Bitcoin. But if he does research it and changes his mind slowly, then we welcome none other into the community. You know what's crazy? It's always weird to me that there's certain people who absolutely hate Caspa for some reason, and my channel is literally like basically 100% Caspa. That's all we talk about, and yet they still come in to hang out. I feel like I've never been into a dedicated XRP chat, stream, video, nothing. Even if all I wanted to do was go talk shit, I just don't have the time to go in to these dedicated videos of projects I don't care about or don't like. And I have legit reasons why I don't like them too. I don't just say it's a shitcoin. It's because the team holds 90% of the supply usually. Is one off the top of my head. Where they dump on you every single month. You keep buying, they keep dumping on you. Laughing behind the scenes. Most proof of stake projects, the team owns well above 50% of the total supply. And even in unlock scenarios, that's what they do. The unlocks are there for them to dump on you. The May 2026 hard fork is explicitly positioned as a step toward vprogs. Example, laying the groundwork, but not full vprog release. Interesting. I thought it was the full release, but I guess either way, it doesn't matter because laying the groundwork obviously has to happen first, right? And in order for vprogs apparently to be implemented, this groundwork has to be laid. So thank you for that clarity. Either way, it's a huge upgrade, hard fork, because what it's laying the groundwork for is groundbreaking. Happy Friday. Just ordered a miner myself for a killer deal. Can't wait for it to come in and get set up. I have respect for you, Kat, for holding the line and continuing weekly lives. I'll be here. I'll be here for another probably 3 years before we, really start seeing altcoins take off again. And it's probably going to suck, but I will be here. We're going to have, people coming into the chat like today every single week. But it is what it is, It's what you sign up for, or what I signed up for. Doing this, I can't expect everybody to be friendly and nice. And I have tough skin in real life outside of this. Obviously, it's probably a reason why it doesn't bother me here, but I don't care what anybody says about me. I kind of do my own thing and go against the grain a lot. And I get a lot of, flack for it sometimes, but I do what I think is right for me, my family, and my life. And, if you don't agree with it, then don't really care, to be honest. Realistically, how soon would we see see the impact of VPROG's implementation? Do you mean when they're actually implemented, or you mean like the impact on chain, like after they're implemented? Because if we're still in a bear market, it's probably not gonna have much of an impact. But all of the stuff that gets laid, all the groundwork that gets laid in the bear market is, what helps a project remain from cycle to cycle and get some sort of I guess lightning rod, in the bull market, because they've worked and worked and worked, and finally the fruits of the labor, once retail comes back and people get excited again, things like that are actually big news. $79 days, 22 hours till the hard fork. Yeah, see, I said 80 days. That's pretty close. Almost exact. But what's a few hours here and there, right? Mila, I appreciate your persistence and dedication to the CAS community and believing in CASPA's future. You are the man. Thank you, Mila. Thank you for coming in to hang out and supporting me on a regular basis. And I do, as of right now, and I'll be honest with you guys, if something changes with CASPA, then and I see some red flags, then I'll let you guys know, and I might have to change course. But I don't see anything at this point in time. You can argue the emission schedule is too fast, right? That's really the only thing that I see that could potentially potentially do some harm to the project. But I always think about this, right? Because Jonathan Sampolinski has been in the space for a while, right? He was with Bitcoin. He was working with security protocols with Bitcoin, in 2010, 2011, literally from the beginning. And he knows, he even tried, right? I'm going to reiterate this again. You guys are probably sick of me saying it, but he tried to sell, the early Bitcoin devs on Ghost Protocol, which obviously is what Caspa is based off of, and because he saw that Bitcoin couldn't scale, and at some point it was going to need to scale in order to be peer-to-peer money and do everything that they thought it was going to be able to do. Back in the day, in 2010, it was groundbreaking technology. Today, it's not. And Jonathan was smart enough to see through the future, or see into the future, and know that this is not going to be top of the line technology moving forward, right? And so you need to continuously upgrade in order to stay with the times. And he was denied twice by the core devs back in the day, and so he created Caspa out of those ashes of getting denied. But coming full circle here is he understands this space, and he was ahead of his times in 2010 with Bitcoin, right? And so I can't imagine that he created Caspa with these fast emission times and didn't think that everything was going to be okay. There had to have been a reason behind that. And I don't know what the reason is. But he's very smart, and he's been around for a very long time. And so, in my opinion, there has to be a good reason why he did that. Like, why make them as fast as it is right now, right, emissions-wise? Why not, right? If you didn't want to make the emission schedule slow as Bitcoin, why not do something in the middle where you've got, 10 years from now to figure it out, right, and gain adoption? I just have to imagine there's a reason. And none of us know that reason yet, but I imagine at some point in time, we're going to look back and be like, that's probably why the emission schedule was so fast. Or the other side of that coin is maybe he fucked up. I don't know. Maybe he's looking back like, whoops, I shouldn't have made the emission schedule so fast. I don't think that's the case, but you got to look at both sides of the coin. I just think he's too smart to do that without some sort of reasoning behind it, right? And logic behind it. Thor Hammer. I spread the news about Caspa wherever I go and try to explain it to whoever or wherever one can understand. Good for you. You probably get rejected a lot because there's probably people who are like, yeah, nope. Brush you off. Tell you you're a lunatic. Don't care, But if you can get like 1 out of every 15 people or something, it's good work. It's like sales. You're going to get the door slammed on you more often than not. But sometimes people will be interested in what you're saying. Love your work, KDK. We will always be here with Infamous as well. Yeah, Infamous is welcome. He's been around here long enough that he's part of our family, even though he's like the kid who always gets in trouble. And you're like, damn it, we love you, but come on. Stop getting in trouble. So Dream, basically what I just talked about, the security budget, I think, which goes hand in hand with the emission schedule, is probably the biggest risk because there's not a whole lot of time in order to get adoption to a point where there's enough transactions on the chain that pays the miners enough that they stay plugged in, right? And so the security can stay up. But again, going back to what I just said, I have to imagine that Jonathan had some sort of reasoning for this. He's too smart not to. I think Jonathan thought Caspa would catch fire faster just because it was very good tech. That's possible. Anything's possible. Maybe, yeah, I don't know. I mean, that. We're going to have to wait and see. And like I said, I think I don't see anything yet that scares me away. All I do is go back to like the core principles where it literally is Bitcoin on almost every single level except the tech is better. It's scalable. The only big difference is the emission schedule. We're going to have to see how that plays out. And hopefully we don't have to jump ship one day. In the upcoming hard fork, restricted smart contracts, which are going to be on the base chain, right? Because it said native assets in the title of the hard fork. Multi-sig setups, basic DeFi primitives will become feasible through the new Covenant features. vProgs is a whole different beast. Okay, so we're getting some sort of native smart contracts, and then vProgs come on later, potentially. Holmes, you seem like you know a lot. Very technical. Sometimes the underlying tech's hard to figure out. It's confusing for a lot of normal people. With fast emissions, he must expect adoption with mini transactions to keep the miners mining. I think 100 BPS will help achieve. Yeah, I agree. Obviously, he was probably expecting adoption. Maybe he was expecting it faster, but there's still time. And also may have thought, that there was going to be an alt season where it'll bring a lot more eyes into the space as well. And then a lot more people stick, right? A percentage of that would have probably come into Caspa. We look at the KII too, Caspa KII, and they're going to be doing transactions on a daily basis on Caspa, and so them alone, right? Even Rory once said, "Don't worry about the emissions. Don't worry about transactions on Caspa because we're going to take care of it." I don't know if we should rely on one company or one bubble of companies to, be responsible for all of the transactions on the chain in order to keep the miners happy. But you have to feel excited that they're going to be doing hundreds of transactions and it's all going to be settled on the base chain. So if nothing else, it's exciting that they're part of, helping out the miners via transactions. The problem is the tech is nothing without marketing, and having so much competition, wanting Caspa to fail, Ethereum, Bitcoin, etc. Yeah, nowadays marketing is kind of important. Remember they just, I think it was the KEF just spent some money in order to get some sort of, I guess it's some news channel, but it's kind of like marketing. Bitcoin never marketed, right? It was just word of mouth, grassroots. Caspa is technically supposed to be the same, but there is a lot more competition nowadays. It's not the only project. And so you're probably going to have to do more than just tech. So we're going to have to see how it plays out. At some point, maybe they get nervous and they do start marketing. I don't know. Shouldn't stablecoins on the L2 from IGRA and Casplex help with the budget and ultimately VProgs? Yeah, they'll all help. The problem is you have to have people actually using it. So once there's stablecoins available, then yes, that'll help, but you still got to have people actually using the chain, right? So daily transactions need to go up, and that will only happen if more people come and start using the chain. And so when you break it all down, adoption is the baseline, right? And there's more than one way that Caspa can get adoption. There's numerous ways. It just needs to happen. All right, guys, I got to take off for the day. I'm on babysitting duties tonight, so I appreciate everybody for coming in, hanging out. Again, pay your bar tabs, like the video, and hit that subscribe button. I forgot to go over, even though it's been going across the screen at the bottom the whole entire video stream. At 10,000 subs, we're going to give away 10,000 Caspa. I don't know when that's going to happen. Probably not till next bull market now, since no new people are coming in to the space right now. But at that point, it's never going to go away. When we finally get there, I will give somebody 10,000 Caspa. And who knows what the price will be at that point, but does it really matter? Because it's probably going to be a pretty big giveaway. So, also, actually, I don't know if the address is in the description right now, so don't even worry about it. But we are going to be helping cats at a cat sanctuary, and just for those of you who haven't heard yet, I will be taking donations in Caspa for that, so that we can help the base chain and help some transactions on the network, but also super chats will go towards that as well. I haven't fully gotten it up. I'm going to get a QR code for the screen and call it something so that it's there all the time. So don't worry about it now, but I just want to voice it for those of you who haven't heard it yet, that we will be setting that up very shortly. So in the meantime, guys, continue to pack your damn bags before it's too late.